Yeah, yes. Yesterday I saw 7 movies. So
People are saying that they're there here for Tapsi's comment. I'm so sorry in talking to you.
Tapsi is
I've been
non-stop
left out
commenting.
the best part of the conversation, it seems. She's been
Yes,
trolling
she
the
can't
house.
let go. She has to rag me. She can't uh, resist not ragging me. So, and there are also trollers who are like saying all kind of beautiful things about me.
Acha. But then, don't these trolls kind of inspire you to make a Hitchcockian take on them?
No, no, you just ignore them because one is like they're seeking attention. So earlier I would react. Now I just totally ignore them. I just get amused by them. So, wo chalta hai? I'll answer questions that are actually seem like a real question.
Uh, no smoking seems to be a great favorite. Sir, please talk something about your film No Smoking.
And No Smoking was made in 2006. Then I was struggling to get my film released, and everything in the film was very personal. I just kind of used smoking as a metaphor. Only thing I did was called a bus tire wala, bus tire wala. Other than that, I just because me and Abbas had done a lot of mainstream movies at that time, Munna Bhai and Main Hoon Na and everything, and we used to constantly talk about what we wanted to do. So our argument was constantly that, and I took his permission and used his name. And No Smoking was nothing. It was all about somebody not wanting to sell his soul, and the world wanting to buy his soul. Nothing more than that. Everything else was just nothing. Unnecessary intellectualization of whole lot of emotional stuff that I was going through. And I just feel that there's a portion in the film in the second half that could have been much more better. Like at that time, people did not understand what a portal was. Tried to use bathtub as a portal, and the world did not understand what a portal was, the purpose that bathtub served. So nothing. It was an experiment that kind of failed at that time.
Somebody mentioned ugly here. Is
Uh,
ugly Hitchcockian in any view? The moral compass there? No.
See, I have no objectivity on my own films. It depends entirely. For me, I don't know. Ugly is what kind of a film? Ugly is more in the zone of a festin celebration. I don't know. It could be. I can't say that. Somebody else has to say that. I have no perspective. I have no objectivity on my own films.
So you can't kind of see that element of yours, which I thought could have been there. What about Ram Gopal Verma?
I love Ram Gopal, but Ram Gopal
No,
was
but
not.
about his whole, his possible Hitchcockian connect.
I don't think Ram Gopal Verma was very inspired by Hitchcock. Ram Gopal Verma was more inspired by William Friedkin and Coppola.
Even
Ram Gopal
Corn,
Verma was more Coppola and
Corn.
Friedkin.
Yeah, sorry. Please carry on. Sorry.
He was more William Friedkin and Coppola.
Okay.
Khan was more William Friedkin, and like the kind of things that he saw. He was not. He did not have a Hitchcock influence. He was more like his favorite films were Godfather, Exorcist. He saw movies like that. He followed cinema that was more early 70s.
Someone wants you to comment on Lijo.
I love Lijo. But Lijo is a volatile, uncontrolled, creative genius. And his films are also like that. He can take on a single thread and a single idea and take it anywhere. And he does that very well. So with Lijo, you can't put him in a box. I don't want to put him in a box. I would not want to put any filmmaker in a box. Because as a filmmaker, my most frustrating thing is when somebody wants to put me in a box. Most frustrating thing is when somebody says, keep making a Gangster of Wasseypur or keep making a Devdi or keep making an Ugly. For me as a filmmaker, that's the most frustrating thing. And every filmmaker, if you ask them, they don't want to be put in a box. And as a filmmaker, I would not put Lijo in a box. In the sense, he's a genius and I want to see everything that he does. And I'm inspired by whatever he does, Vetri. I'm seeing filmmakers who are very consistent. Lijo, Rajiv Ravi, Vetri. They are people who are like consistent with what they're trying to do.
Back to Hitchcock, somebody wants you to talk about the humor as an element in his films?
Constantly. There's a Hitchcock used humor non-stop. There was a constant wit. Every character in whatever situation had a wit around them. They had their wit around them, and they were constantly responding to everything with wit, because wit is the only way of getting out of a situation or circumstance. And that humor was non-stop. His humor was non-stop. In Hitchcock's film, the most uncomfortable of places you laugh.
Hi, please bear with me. There is some glitch. I'll get him online again.
Now again,
Oh, oh.
this is the first time I'm doing this. I have no idea.
I think we shot by
Why
more
did
than an
it shut down?
hour. Yeah,
Why
so
did it
I
shut down?
need to wrap up quickly.
Hmm.
Why did Ram Gopal Verma? I'm kind of taking the all the people who are there, their questions. Why did Ram Gopal Verma lose out on all the success that he's had? And this phase that he's in.
But I'm saying he's enjoying himself. What people need to understand is he's catering to himself, and he's enjoying himself. Yes, a lot of us have a lot of expectations from him, and we might feel disappointed. But he's literally doing what he wants to do. He's actually enjoying himself. He's constantly discovering things that he wants to. He's already bored with what people expect from him. He's the kind of a guy who wants to give out what he is discovering, and we might agree or disagree with him, but he's very happy. He's not craving for anybody's approval or validation.
We stopped when you were still talking about the humor in Hitchcock, but when it suddenly went.
Yeah, man, his humor with Hitchcock is consistent. In the sense, there's nothing. I just marvel at the way he wrote his scenes, because at this time when I was revisiting his films, I always put the subtitles on, and the witticism and the repartee is just so good, and the humor is what makes it comfortable viewing. And I literally I believe in humor so much. In my own films, I try to, in whatever situation, circumstances, try and find humor in it, because that's something that you learn from Hitchcock. In the most morbid of moments, he'll still find a way to make you laugh. And that's what his magic.
Sorry, did I interrupted you?
That is what the magic of it was, because and with his humor, they also made you uncomfortable. Like Rebecca was one movie that was very emotional and things, and which is why everybody loved it. But it kind of stayed away from that kind of a morbidity, and it was more moody, because that's what the audience likes. But other than that, what he himself tried to do as a filmmaker, you see a lot of that in Tarantino. Tarantino constantly uses humor in the most morbid of situations, the darkest of situations. You see that.
It's kind of comparing you to Tarantino. There are lot many, messages.
I don't know. In the sense, yeah, barring the fact that I like to use humor everywhere, I don't see it, because Tarantino has no social political concerns when he's trying to make a movie. He's constantly rewriting history, and he's more influenced by cinema, and he lives in the world of cinema. For me, I'm very aware of also things around me. In the sense, I'm very aware of the political context of where I'm making a film in. So that's not something that I borrow from Tarantino.
Interesting film of this yours, The Last Train to Mahakali. Want to know more about it? I'm not asking any of my own questions. I think now let the
Last Train to Mahakali came out of my need to. I wrote this to Shivam Nair was supposed to direct it. I wrote it. While writing it, I fell in love with it. I said I want to do it myself. It also came from the fact that I was studying to be a scientist, and my preoccupation was finding a cure for virus and things. And the structure of the film was influenced by a film from New Zealand called Fun. And I don't know, that film is lost now, but that movie Fun had such an impact. The structure I kind of used in Auto Narayan, Last Train to Mahakali, and also Panch. The structuring of the film, where the film is being told to the audience. through a kind of a device of a narrative, and then it turns it around. So that's something that I literally borrowed from this movie called Fun, which I saw at the IFFI in Mumbai in 1994, alongside Pulp Fiction. So the more influence of Fun than Pulp Fiction, which I saw both in 1994.
When somebody wants you to tell them whether you can make Money Heist in Hindi. I think Shah Rukh got the rights for it, right?
Which one?
Nice. Money Heist in Hindi. You make
No,
it.
no, I'm not like. I I enjoyed Money Heist, but not as much as everybody else in the world. It kind of became very kind of repetitive for me.
Okay. Alvin Kalicharan. Questions about that. क्या हो रहा है?
I just cracked the now take on it, just in this lockdown. So I'll have a new draft of the script ready soon, and then I will start pitching it in the market. Let's see.
Okay. Priyadarshan, somebody wanted to know from you.
Yeah,
Mani Ratnam, I can understand. But one Mani Ratnam question. Please talk about Mani Ratnam and please talk about Priyadarshan.
my favorite Mani Ratnam films are all pre-Rosa.
Roja. Okay.
Pre-Rosa. Agni Nakshatram, Maunaragam, Naikan,
Okay.
even Gitanjali.
Okay.
I'm saying Iruvar is amongst his newer, later films that I really liked very much. And for Priyadarshan, the films of Priyadarshan that I really liked was Gardish. I remember.
Okay.
I loved Gardish. I liked some of the action movies that he made earlier, not his later movies. I don't like his later. I think
Not the content.
Post Hera Fairy, he started doing all one kind of movie, trying to, because I think everybody gets defined by that one big success in their life. Most filmmakers, when they have that one big success, they make it into a formula and a prototype, and they start trying to do the same thing over and over again. I think that's the trap that filmmakers need to avoid.
I'm glad you took Maunaragam.
I love Maunaragam.
I
agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a fantastic one.
But the credit must go to Mani Ratnam about how we shoot our movies today. The two filmmakers, one who brought in technology and one who literally taught us how better ways of using camera was Mani Ratnam and Ram Gopal Verma. Like I'm saying, there's a way films were shot pre Mani Ratnam and post Mani Ratnam.
Midsommar. Somebody wants to talk. You talk about Midsommar.
About
Tarkovsky sci-fi superhero.
what Tarkovsky sci-fi superhero? I didn't understand.
They want to talk filmmaker on filmmakers. No specific question.
Nothing in the sense. I remember when I saw Tarkovsky and all his movies. I remember so impacted by it, and people would sit down and discuss, and I hated discussing movies. In the sense, everybody discussed films as if it was so important to discuss film. Otherwise, they don't have any kind of a existence without understanding Tarkovsky. I never bothered to understand. I was just blown by his visual imagery, things he tried to address, and what he wanted to. I like to live silently with the film after watching the film. I'm the last one you'll find in a group discussing a film after having seen it. I always avoided. I would sit in a circle where people would sit and discuss. I remember when I started my journey of cinema, and Madan Gopal Singh and Rajat Kapoor and Anup Singh and everybody would sit in Delhi, and they would discuss and break down films, and they would kind of also write those discussions down in Journal of Arts and Ideas that used to come out then. I would just sit there quietly and then leave. I never participated. I would just listen to everyone and go back and just live with the film. So I kind of avoid discussing those intellectual details of filmmakers and films. I feel like when you watch a film, it's an experience, and you just live with it and allow it to impact you, affect you, grow inside you, and it does what it has to do. By talking about it, I just kind of feel like we dismiss the film.